it made me write down who's in charge and who does he or she love. It's one of the quotes that I heard about sort of like why wars happen in general. And when I think about bullying, and it escalates into the workplace, and then it escalates into our national and then international level, and we get to the point where we're having wars over who's in charge. Like you said, who wants to be in charge here? Who's the boss? And I believe that like we don't have to have those conversations. Like we can sort of be okay with not having a boss, like telling us what to do. I read this book by George Lakoff. It was called Don't Think I'm an Elephant. George Lakoff is a cognitive therapist and scientist that talks about sort of the real reasons why there's two different models here. In that book, he talked about the strict family figure model, where there's somebody in charge telling people exactly sort of what to do and how to do it. And then there's sort of like this more communal, caring sort of like environment parenting, where like everybody sort of gets to make the decisions. And I understand that you know, a 5-year-old might not want to go to bed. And I've lived with a 2-year-old, so I've heard them cry, and I know what he's talking about whenever it says. He was talking about like sort of a baby cry. I don't think that the reason why the baby's crying is because they're trying to bully the mother, though. And I don't mean to. It's funny because we're having a conversation about bullying, and we're like sort of saying like this is a debate. So I'm trying to like figure out ways to talk about the innate or the differences that we have. And I am really interested in like what you think the difference is, and I think you started to clarify it, like about like that being innate or not, like because. I think that if you really think that a baby crying is sort of like, I want what I want, I think it's just saying, I'm hungry, which is like kind of natural and okay, you know. It's not like I need to bully my mother in towards, you know, feeding me. So it all depends on how you want to think about it, right, where this bullying comes from. Now, the interesting point that he sort of did bring up was about whether or not enumeration of the categories was actually the way to solve it. And from what I understand, what we've got in law right now doesn't actually solve it. And that's a very vague, sort of broad strokes law that says kids shouldn't be bullied and the students or the schools should do something about it. And this is something that passed back in 2007 into our law. It's about 3 sentences, and you can go check it up online or wherever. It's not working. And I haven't heard anything else as far as an idea of maybe what is reducing reported cases of bullying. And so I say, let's do something here that's going to change the way schools happen, so that they can actually feel, again, so the students can have a teacher that's empowered to talk about issues. Whether it's enumerating the categories in our laws or not, it's really important that the teacher feels empowered to talk about homophobia, again, racism, sexism. That's not happening. And the real reason why that's not happening is because they don't feel empowered to talk about it. Again, there's reasons why. I wouldn't feel empowered to talk about it if I was afraid of losing my job either. If I was afraid that if I told people it's okay to be gay in your school, if your 10-year-old student comes up to you and says, you know, Billy over there is gay, and my response isn't, it's okay to be gay, like, then we're really talking about sort of, and I know that there's a lot of people out there in this world. We do have an opposition. I know that there's people out there that say, we don't want our teachers to tell that kid that it's okay to be gay. And it's really sad because it stills in that little kid who might or might not. I mean, let's just get it straight. He might not know, or she might not know. But it instills in that kid that they're wrong for how they feel. And I don't believe that that's a bad feeling, or we should tell kids that they shouldn't feel that way. As far as like, you know, pubic hair coming in early or fast, or I mean, I played football, and there was always, you know, everybody just jockeying around in the locker room, and I get it. It's, but it's not innate. It's not part of the football program. In order to play football, you don't have to, you know, mess around with a guy next to you and make fun of him. Because I didn't do it. Not to say that I'm perfect, because I did a whole bunch of other stuff. So.